like, I don't know, feminist DJ, uh, and or you know, farm team chick. I mean, I got a little chubby, but come on, man. Like, fuck me. Like, chick that's working on the women's network. Like, that's just. And after all, you did all that shit. It's like, it's like my mom. Women are taking. No. Like, I think a lot of these chicks, these feminist chicks, get really messed up in the head. To tell you the truth, it's just like. That would be like dating my mom. To tell you the truth, right? So it's like I don't want that. That would just be like a big mistake. Like, that's not for me. It's just for a apparently relationship expert. You really have a hard time kind of getting all this, and then having to send all these dorky little feminist control, your feminazi friends to come and tell me like, you know what, man. I can just see it in the back of my head now. It's just like it'd be a domestic scene waiting to happen. So it's just like, you know what? Let's just not do that, right? It's like that wouldn't make me happy. I don't really like you that much. I just remember all the nasty things stuff that you're trying to do. It's like there's just no point even going there. That'd be stupid. So I'm just like, I don't know what your fucking deal is or anything, but like that would be dumb. Like, you're dumb. You're stupid. So it's like to this whole like manipulation game and stuff like that. It's like, well, that's not cool. That's for fucking fags, right? Like to do that is that's fags culture right there. That's being a fag, like this manipulating you into getting what you want, blah blah, blah and this and that. Like that's really low and weak to try and do this. Like, I can't even go to bars like with that. Like I was like, I don't really. I think I can do a lot better. It's just like, you're just not my type, not my style. Like, maybe 8 years ago I would have thought you cool, but then I get out and I breathe the air and stuff like that. It's like, well, I mean, you're a fucking radio DJ, right? You're fucking, you're an idiot. Like, and I wish you well, but it's just like, hey, my husband, I don't really like you that much. It's just to get like your Toronto feminist bullshit fucking games, like it's like, so you probably weren't the coolest chick in high school or something like that, right? And then you, I don't know, took public speaking courses, like that. So then, and now what is it like? This is your way of getting even with someone like me to try and emasculate me and cut me down to size, along with the feminist Toronto media that is governed by political correctness. I couldn't get a job there because I'm not a minority, so right? They're just like pulling my chains and stuff like that. Right? I'm not someone's uncle's brother's son or something like that, right? So I don't really want to. The thing is, I don't really want to work in media. I don't really, as for like Pooja and all them, like, hey man, I'm a white guy. It's like, I wish you well. It's like, I really enjoy watching the program, but as for me to want to partake in any of that stuff, it's like, man, I'm just going to take the high ground. It's just like, that's not for me. I don't know why John Tory sucks your ass so much. It's like, John, what are you doing, man? You can do other programs like Your Morning, a real conservative show or something like that, instead of, playing to the heartstrings of, what's the word? Political correctness. John, you're conservative, allegedly, right? So we cater to that for far too much. Like the feminists and like the English debate. It's all chicks, right? There's not even one guy, a brown guy, a black guy, or anyone. And that's ridiculous. So, as for like, I just don't take the Toronto media seriously. And Christina, she's a pretty little girl, but still, it's really, really tiny, right? It's like really, really short. No, it's too short for me. Like, and you girls are like, you're all lots of fun. It's like, no, it's at this point, it's just like I just don't even care. It's nothing personal, and it's just like I kind of, what's the word? I'm like above and beyond that, right? It's just below my stature and my thing. Like it's like me hanging out with the coolest people in grade 8, right? And like I said, like I'm a white guy. I'm a munch cake white guy, right? Come on, right? Maybe a beta male like my father or something like that, has to take what is given to him and hand it out on him. But I don't do that, right? And it's for like all these little people, like, oh, it's like, like you're fucked. Like you're right there and then. It's just like you're like this feminist control freak. Bullshit is gone. That's ridiculous, right? Like see, you did all these nasty little things, like, oh, now you're gonna build me up. Well, wasn't that nice of you? You know what? I did a good job of that all by myself, build myself up, right? So that's the problem with Ontario. We cater to political correctness for far too long, and Kathleen Wynne's gone. She's not coming back. We're starting to see the back wind of that, right? All right, like we have to get rid of Unifor because all these minorities and whatnot jobs, like, so we can start taking the media seriously again. Because all these minorities and whatnot jobs are protected due to the union and too much political correctness, right? So, I'm not saying like it's not like a healthy mix, but we have a massively disproportionate ratio of minorities to the majority, right? It's gone way too far now, right? It's just like I don't want like you can talk about me all you want, but it's like I just don't want to. It's like Fardra, or Josie or anything. It's like it's called leagues, right? Like so you weren't the coolest chick in high school. Now you got a position with a microphone. Doesn't mean you have to abuse your power, right? It's just like right, like to manipulate and get what you want, right? Like that's, I'd say like feminism's just as bad as chauvinism, and it's the gross abuse. And like Toronto is witnessing a gross abuse of power is what you've done to me, like over medicate me, like like anything you can do, I can do better. Like I don't know where that's. I think it's gone to certain women's heads and stuff like that. Like they have I believe it's like a female director kind of with the CTV thing. Hey, I would have loved to do that, but like as for me, like by now the novelty's worn off, and I've no longer feel like jumping through hoops for nothing, right? I'm not one of those sit and obey type guys, right? A lot of the baby boomers are, the liberal baby boomers, right? Like Justin Trudeau and his feminist movement are. I don't know who's pulling his strings, but for him to even say that's ridiculous. I'm a feminist, like, so basically what he says is, I hate males, particularly white males. So that's that's very offensive, right? They even have a feminist thing. Like if we had a chauvinist thing, people go through the other roof. But women have gotten away with these man-hating feminists have gotten away with this kind of shit for so long. Like saying I'm a feminist, like that's very offensive. It's like say like I hate black people or something like that. It's long parallel the same lines to that, or a chauvinist, right? It's like saying I'm a racist. And feminists particularly hate, you guessed it, white males, right? They like to degrade us and bring us down, and so it's like no. It's like like you poison, they hate us, right? They're because I don't know, most of them weren't the coolest people in high school or something like that. So it's just like, well, I was like a pretty popular guy, but I wasn't really a mean dick or nothing like that. But like, oh, at least he wants one. Why? Because it's on your ignorant like timetable. Like you already had 3 kids. It's like fuck, man. Like, and like you look like shit anyways, right? Like, like last time I seen you, like you're fat, your flesh is just kind of hanging off your bones, like you're not a pretty girl, right? Like you were at one point, but you let yourself go to shit, right? And you look like shit and smell like ass, right? And like, to be quite honest with you, I think Ukrainians are kind of goofy looking, right? To tell you the truth, they're kind of funny and weird culture. Although Ukrainians, it's like they kind of look like the guy in City TV. He's part Ukrainian or something. He kind of looks like a seal, right? Like I can just see him. It's like I mean, like he's like I just don't like. It's not the real look I'm want the gene pool. It's like no. Yes, you do. Like, I don't really want to. It's like, oh, because Richard Branson says so. Like, hey, you know what, man? There's always David Gavin, right? And it's just like it's. You're from like, and yeah, you're from the East End too. Like, I hate the East End. It's like everyone washes themselves with a rag and a stick out there, right? It's just like a lot of reasons why I probably would. It's just like, yeah, I'd probably like, you'd probably drive me nuts and like fucking do something stupid. Like, I'd be like Ronnie or something like that. And I'm all for making scenes though, but you know, if I were to get the feeling I'm probably gonna get, you know, violent and stuff like that, it's like, well, it's probably a good idea not to, right? Like, I just don't like you, right? I remember like it's all the things that you and the Toronto media have done to condition me to not like you, right? It's like, yes, you do. It's like, you know, like, what? Because the Toronto media says so, right? Because John Tory says so. Maybe it is time for new mayor. I mean, I love downtown Toronto, but John, you suck up to them way too much, man. You cater to political correctness way too much, man. Like, you know, but like for you to suck up to fucking feminists and stuff like that, John, like, fuck off, man. You're such a fucking pussy. You know, like, maybe, like, you know, grow up here. Like, I'm not, like, whatever they say about me is like, holy shit, I don't care, right, you know? It got me on the point of that. It's like, holy shit. It's like, oh, trying to appease them. It's like, oh, you know what? It's the Toronto media, it's a joke, right? And it's quite laughable around the world, actually, right? It's like, you know, 'cause I don't know who the fuck's around the show, but it's gotten so bad. It's like, you could probably give the British a run for the money, right? Like, you know, like these, like Christina Aguilera and like, what's her fucking name? Ardra, you know, like, they're really, really fucking tiny, right? They're like, it's like I'm you know, and Josie's a fucking midget too, right? It's like, you know, it's like hanging out in Smurf Village, right? It's like, I mean, I'm not a basketball player by any means or nothing. I'm like, you know, like Jordan Styles, right? But it's like, I don't know. They look like little helpers at Santa's Village or little gnomes you might see at a fucking mini putt or some shit like that. It's like, you know, and there's, you know, I mean, it's no harm there. But it's just like, then I go to downtown Toronto. It's like, holy shit, there's all kinds of hot chicks, right? But it's for like, oh, all your weird little manipulative mind games. Like, you know, that's no way to do anything. It's like, that's fucking pathetic. Like, that's really rude and low life and controlling. And then John and all the other ones pay along. It's like, it's like, sometimes you just get the spidey sense up. It's like, no. It's like, I just like to say no. It's like, you know, like, and I'm only getting part of the story because a lot of this stuff is filtered through the CRTC and shit like that, which is socialist rhetoric bullshit, right? So, you know, like, they can slam the door and say, doesn't mean I have to do it, right? Like, oh, you know what? Maybe Saturday Night Live's not for me, right? You know, they asked me, invited me, blah, blah, blah. But I think I'd rather have my own reality show, right? And that'd be fun, because what do? Do I want to hang out do I want to hang out on Saturday Night Live party, or would I rather be actually out partying all night long on a Saturday Night Live, on a Saturday night? It's like, what would I rather do? Do the Saturday night show and just like get to hang out at the after party, or just make my whole night just a big party, big Saturday night kickoff, right? And, you know, like, maybe I'd rather do the reality show, right? That'd be a lot more fun. Like, Michael, like, Lawrence is like, they're trying to make me do these things. Like, you know what, man? She was once a really good looking chick, but it's like, she's done all these, like, little nasty little, I don't even know what to do, manipulative jabs. It's like, you know what, man? Right there and then, it's just like, you know, like, what's wrong with you? What's ticking behind your head, right? But, like, you know, what goes on there? But, you know, it's like, you could probably have a lot of, like, most feminists, right? They most have, like, a lot of issues in their back of their head, right? And a woman's mind works a lot different. It's like, you're probably, luckily I was kind of this uppity snot, right? Like, well, kind of, right? You know, it's like, yes. Like, oh, very good for you, like, in high school, right? Like, I've always had this inflated sense of ego and self-worth, right? It's just, I don't even know where it comes from. Everyone's like, what do you get? Like, I don't know. I don't know where that comes from. My English ancestry, I guess, right? You're kind of, you know, hold her head high, and, you know, everything's will be nice and cheeky and stuff like that. But I get it, right? You know, like, a lot of people like me, right? You know, it's about 50. Like, what are you doing with that fucking fag? You know, like, no wonder you get treated like a little bitch. We're gonna guy with a homo like that. Like, come on, really, a guy like that. You don't see like Peter Pan there. Hey, see if you'll sprinkle some pixie dust. Like, what a fucking homo. Fuck, you can do better than. Come on, that's a problem. I think that's why the problem why you get walked over by all these fucking people, like, because you date fucking fags, right? That's the thing. Like, you could get with me, but nah. Not after that. You have to get the big old G's, the big G's, right? Like the Slim Stack. It's awesome, right? But big old teddies are coming to mainstream, right? You know. It's like that's the thing. It's a white guy thing, right? Like white guys love big old titties, right? Black guys do too, but we're more into big booties and stuff like that. Like, where's a white guy? You know, my English guy's like, whoa, hey, look at that tits on her. It's like, oh, it's like that used to be a thing. You know, be a nice. It's a greeting in Toronto in certain parts. Like, you know, well, look at the tits on you, right? It's like on Seinfeld, how they're like, you're so good looking. Ours is actually, you know, well, look at the tits on you. They, you know, they're so awesome, right? It's like, but you know, that's the problem, I guess. That's why you get walked over, right? Like, your whole career, it started off really good. And then all of a sudden they got you doing laser techno things and stuff like that. And like, hanging out with Kendrick Lamar. It's like, what happened? What happened? I like some of your songs. I like that. I used to love that song that you did about Jake Gyllenhaal. We were never getting back together. It's kind of fun and poppy and stuff like that. But then you're like, what did you do to Taylor Swift? She's doing like techno, fucking this and that. It's like, you know, she's like I kind of like that Lover song, but like I said, the episode, the video looks like, you know, something on Blacks, right? It's like, fuck. Like I didn't know you were like the chocolate sauce. It seems a little out of character for you. It's like, it's kind of disappointing there. You know, like, you know, like I like electronic music. I would do like a slow, that thing how you do that stupid hip hop bass line. Like, I am so sick of that. I probably would have done some kind of electro synth thing or something like that, but like you insist on dating like, you know, Tinkerbell there, right? Or Peter Pan there, man. It's like, what the fuck? What are you doing with a guy like that? And then you're wondering why you get pushed around and, I mean, at least Jake Gyllenhaal's a fucking man. He's a cool dude, right? Like, he's a ballsy dude. But if you hang out with guys like, when you're hanging out with, you know, Snowflake there, of course, like, you know, like, you're gonna start making you do things with Kendrick Lamar. I'm like, what the fuck is this? What the fuck is this shit? And then you're like hanging out with, I don't know, this fucking faggot. And you wonder why Kanye West walks all over. He's like, what the fuck? You know, all these fucking hip hop clowns. You know what? They'd be like, oh, Brad, maybe doing a hip hop album. You know, actually, I'm gonna make Paris Hilton get the fake tits anyways and not do the hip hop album. I don't really like rap poetry. It's like, it's one of the overrated genres there is out there. It's like, you know, it's not my thing. Paris Hilton would look like fucking dynamite though, and they all would. It's like the Frank Pereira girl. And there's no shame in getting, you know, big old set of fucking big old titties, man. That's the new look, man. Like a Frank Pereira girl, man. You know, if I had a bunch of white girls like that bouncing around, you know, all these fucking dressed up like that, we'd never hear from those fucking Kardashians again, right? I'm sure it's annoying as hell. It's like, oh, you know, I don't know what how Jerry Seinfeld's talking about, like, I don't know, it's a lot of nonsensical shit. I mean, I love the man. Jerry Seinfeld's a huge comedic influence, right? Because he can keep it really clean and still make you funny, right? Like, it's like, I guess he's like him and like Friends. That was like coffee humor, like Starbucks humor, right? You know, but you know, he's pretty clean. But actually, I've heard rumors of Brad Garrett's stand-up comedy, and it's actually quite vulgar. Same with what's his fucking name? The guy from Full House. What's his name? Danny Tanner. What's his name? Bob Saget. That guy is supposed to be one rude ass motherfucker, and then he's just like, you know, like, and then that's another thing, because John Cryer says this. I don't think I'm taking, you know, pickup advice from John Cryer. Charlie Sheen, yes. John Cryer, not so much, right? It's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. Like, I don't really. I know. It's like the Ukrainian people, like, hey, you guys got Nikki bands, but for the most part, it's been really strange and weird to me. It's like for no reason at all. I don't know. It's just like that's not really my bag. It's like when it comes to Ukrainian chicks or whatever, I'd rather hang around Nikki bands. She's far more interesting, far outgoing, but you know, more my style, right? You know, like kind of certain types of chicks I like, certain personalities. Too bad about Swifty though. Like, there's no reason to get walked over hanging out with fucking Fruit Loops like that, man. It's like fuck me, man. That sucks, baby. Fuck. Oh fuck, you know. Oh, okay, we're gonna make you a electro sync pop dubstep star now, too. It's like, you know, what happened to Taylor Swift just doing her fucking thing, right? It's like, I really feel sad for you. But you do hang out with Fagz, right? So, of course, it really would help you get back on top if you went for that full-on slim stack look. You know, like, get the big old teddies, because that's going to be the big for, like, the next 20 years, right? You know, it's all big butts and stuff like that with the Kim Kardashian, like, you know, I don't mind a nice little apple butt, like a bit of a fucking curvature there. But a big Kim Kardashian ass, that's almost enough to make me want to vomit, right? That's a little too big, right? It's like, you know, it's like, I'm just like picturing that thing farting, and also going like, just going all over the place. That's kind of gross, man. Like, you know, we used to have a nice tone kind of fucking butt, you know, back in the day, like, who's got a nice butt? I don't know. You know, that's just like too big, man. It's just like, can you just not picture Kim Kardashian flatulating and all of a sudden that thing going all over the place like a mess? Like, I think the Kardashians are done, right? You know, like there's a nice butt, like, you know, a bit of a booty. It's like, you know, it's round, it's firm, it's got some curvature towards it, but that's just a big sloppy mess, right? It's just like she paid money to have that thing. It's like, it's kind of gross, man. It's like, you know, as like a cake guy, right? Like a white guy, right? So we're like, well, it's kind of fucking nasty, man. It's just like, you know, big sloppy, like, it's all over the place. It's just like, but apparently she spends a lot of time to work. Okay, J-Lo's got a nice butt, but like maybe half the size of that. That's too much to handle, right? That's just not for white guy. I don't know, it's hard to say, right? Like, enough that you could just pound on that thing all night fucking long. You know who's got a nice butt? Just right, it's just in between face, believe it or not. Toronto's own Amy Anderson, right? She got a nice, just looking at that thing, it's like, or even Nikki Benz, it's like, you know, it's not pushing for the cushion, but enough so I can still get it in, right? You know what I mean? Like as a white guy, right? You know, majority rules, right? Yeah, but like, that's a big sloppy friggin', it's a huge sloppy thing. That's like all over the place, right? You know, so you don't want that, right? Big fucking fat mess. Like, you know, like big titties are it, man. Big titties are where it's at, man. It's like, it's a white guy thing. It's an English thing. We love large-breasted women, right? They're fucking. It's like, hence the term ginormous. So like, you know, the old slim stacks come into fashion, right? You know, it's too bad, like, you know, because I bet you it's one thing, Taylor. Stop dating faggots like fucking homo juice there, and get yourself the slim stack thing there. Like, fuck, I would have loved to grab my cock up your ass. Fuck, it would have been awesome. That's a shame, baby. That's such a shame. Because I bet you got a really firm grip, man. Like, you got all the personal trainers and stuff like that. Just like, oh. Okay, Taylor, we want you to crush 3 walnuts today. And in about 2 months, we're going to step it up to 4. So be ready. All right?